What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards of Comics here today for my first ever CGC comic book submission. That's right, I am sending raw comic books in to be graded. I have never done this before. I have bought thousands of dollars worth of graded comic books. I have never submitted a comic to grading before in my life. Now, you may ask, what changed? Good question. As most of you all know, I was recently at New York Comic Con, and I picked up a bunch of con exclusive and some other variant Spider-Gwen covers, covering a couple different lines and issues and from different people and folks. And since they were con exclusives, they weren't slabbed already. I prefer my books slabbed. Say what you will about them. I prefer them CGC slabbed. I think they display nicer. I just like the way they look. So, if I want these ones slabbed up, I'm going to have to do it myself. There's nothing in here crazy valuable. The most expensive book in here was $40 raw, and that was because it was a foil con exclusive cover. I know going into this, I am really not adding much in the way of value to most of these books. Some of the ones in here I have seen on eBay already graded for like 60, 70 bucks, sitting at best offer buy it now. The other part that's in play here, one, I've just never done it before, so I kind of want to see what it's all about, get a feel for it. The other thing too is I have a CGC Elite membership that I paid for last year. It expires in November. And with that, I get 20% off grading submissions. So I am also getting a discount to grade these. That's about to run out. So I figured, what the hell, why not? I will send these in. So these 6 books are running me about, I think it's like right around $150 with shipping back. I'll have to pay to ship them down there. That'll probably be like about 10 bucks or so. I got to figure out how to package these things up. I haven't packaged a raw comic book to ship out in forever. So I'll probably be poking around on a YouTube page. So what exactly am I sending? If you watched the pickups video from NYCC, some of these will look very, very, very familiar. And once again, these are lower end. I'm not expecting these to go to the moon. I just, they're con exclusives. I like the cover. I PC Spider-Gwen stuff. I have a bunch of other Spider-Gwen variant covers. I do not believe in variant covers for the most part. There are a couple, but 98% of them, buy them if you like them and you think they're cool. Don't ever expect them to go to the moon. That is how I treat variant covers. If I run across one that I like or that I think is cool or whatever, I will snag it. But I know full well going in that it is probably not ever going to be worth much more than what I paid for it. So, kind of laying the groundwork there. Let's go ahead and get into this. This will be pretty quick because it's only 6 books. First up is the one on top. This is Spider-Gwen Annual number 1. This is the Comic Mint Convention Edition. Virgin cover, once again, for those that don't know what a virgin cover means, this is a trade dress, has the Amazing Spider-Man or whatever the name of the comic book is up at the top, issue number and stuff down here in the corner. A virgin cover is basically just a blank, none of that other accoutrement, if you will, just the straight artwork and nothing else. Personally, I've talked about this in videos before, I actually prefer trade dress. I like having whatever the issue is at the top. I like having the issue number on there. Typically, the virgin variants go for way more. They're also typically rare. Not always, it all depends. But I personally like a good trade dress. I also prefer non-newsstand. I'm a weirdo like that. I like the little Spider-Man face in the corner or whatever the case might be instead of a newsstand barcode. Newsstands typically sell for, not typically, they almost always sell for more, especially on more modern stuff. So this is our first one up. This was a con exclusive. I think this was like 10 or 15 bucks from the Comic Mint. I picked this up at NYCC. This was an NYCC convention exclusive. This one, this is a also variant cover. This is a perfect example. There was a trade dress of this and a virgin copy of it. I just got the trade dress. So Spider-Gwen Annual #1, same issue as this one, just a different cover. You can see variant on the front, and then it even has a New York Comic Con sticker or a little artwork down there in the corner, denoting that this was a con exclusive. So we got a little punk rocker Gwen on that one. Amazing Spider-Man 29. This was not a con exclusive. This is, I got these from, I believe it was from Unknown Comics. Essentially had a deal where if you bought 4 books, you got one free. And I was already buying a couple different books from them. So I just looked for other Spider-Gwen stuff that I didn't have and went ahead and snagged them. The next two kind of go in tandem. This is Amazing Spider-Man 29. Once again, a variant cover. This is the trade dress. This was like, I don't remember, $10 or something. Nothing crazy expensive. And then below that, we have the foil edition. Now, if you followed anything from New York City Comic Con, from any of the other content creators there, foil covers were the rage. I don't mind all the marks and stuff on it. That's on the bag itself, not on the actual book. But foil covers were what everyone was freaking out about. It's whatever to me. Some of them look kind of cool. Actually, I think this one's just kind of okay. You can see like the white part of her suit is essentially foil, and the rest of it is the matte black cover. Once again, got a little the virgin cover there instead of the trade dress. Next up, ASM 32. This was once again a variant cover. This launched at the con. This one actually been out for a couple months. This one launched at the con. So that is the standard trade dress on this one. And then below that, we have the foil variant. Once again, convention exclusive foil variant. This one, I believe, was limited to 600 copies. So you'll see this a lot on the convention exclusive stuff, or just exclusives in general. They will limit the production on how many there are. So on this particular issue, I believe this foil cover, there are only 600 copies of it. Artificial scarcity at its finest. You know, we see this kind of nonsense in the sports card game. They variant this stuff to death and then, you know, inject artificial scarcity into it by limiting the number to try to drive up demand. Sometimes it works. People really do chase a lot of these variant covers. Like I said, there's some that I come across that I'm like, that's a really cool cover. That looks really cool, especially if it's an artist that I like. You know, like Peach Momoko does a ton of different covers for comic books. Her art is fantastic. Some of them I really, really like. Some of them are also very, very expensive. But like I said, I typically don't chase that stuff unless it's something that calls to me for PC purposes. So this was also, these were like $40 raw. So that's probably the most expensive comic that I bought at the entire convention. So like I said, I just kind of wanted to get these slabbed up to go with the rest of the Gwen collection. Listen, I am no expert comic grader when it comes to raw books. I glance these over ever so quickly. I assume, I am hoping they are going to grade fairly decently since they have not really been handled a ton. I was pretty careful with them when I bought them. Kind of a pain in the butt to carry around. I got to get a better system. They sell little boxes I need to get if I'm going to continue to buy raw books at conventions. Is this going to send me down the path of, you know, buying raw comic books and sending them in the grade? Probably not. You know, would I consider it for some older stuff? Maybe. The problem is I just don't have the knowledge. I don't know how to sit down with a copy of X-Men 101 and figure out the difference on whether it's a, you know, a 6.5 or an 8.0. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I only have enough mental headspace for so much stuff. On the higher end, I can obviously tell if something is like a 9.0 or better. I don't know that I could sit there and nail every little defect and be like, oh yeah, this is going to be a 9.4 versus this one being a 9.6 or a 9.2 or even a 9.0, depending on what it is. So I could tell probably like whole numbers. I don't know if I could get into the minutia on the individual 0.2 jumps. So we'll see how I do on this one. Like I said, part of it is just curiosity for that aspect of it. I'm expecting to do at least halfway decent because these are all ultra modern books, all convention exclusives. The foil covers, I would assume, would grade pretty well. Once again, assumption on my part. So we'll see how this all turns out. I believe, and if someone knows if you've done a recent CGC submission, I think their modern turnaround times are a little over a month, but someone could correct me on that. So hopefully I get these back by the end of the year. We will see. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.